Good morning, everyone. We will now begin the morning service of the Miroku Association headquarters, asking God and Meishu-sama to protect and bless us as we participate today in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Taka ni kamsumarimasu. Kamuromi no mikoto mochite sume ni oya kamuri sana ino mikoto sukushi no himuka no tachihana no odo no agi hara ni misogi hara itamo toki ni narimaseru harai no kami tachi moro moro no magabuto tsumi kegare o harai tamai kiyome tamae toma osukoto no yoshi o amatsu kami kuni tsukami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomo ni abe no fuchi koma no mimi furitate te hikoshime seto kashikomi mumaosu. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae sakihai tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae sakihai tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae sakihai tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae sakihai tamae. Kon agara tamachi haimase. Kon agara tamachi haimase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, the time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truths given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Meishu-sama, bless you.
Johrei is now concluded, and we will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. The light of wisdom. Let us walk the dark path safely and serenely, guided by God's teachings, leaning upon the staff of love. In the age of light, those who show true wisdom and who radiate great love will gain their rightful place in this world. Faith brings true wisdom and develops one's awareness. Only with true wisdom can we appreciate the boundless blessings of God. Positive wisdom, based on love of God, is deep and firmly rooted, while negative wisdom or cunning based on love of self is shallow and weak. Only true wisdom can produce real success and lasting happiness. And the stronger someone's faith and devotion are, the deeper that person's wisdom becomes. Even learned individuals often find it necessary to struggle to produce an answer to the simplest kind of problem. Their inability to clarify their thoughts and ideas in a constructive way shows how clouded their minds must be, and thus how lacking they are in true wisdom. Also, many in authority are often short sighted, thinking only of the present and dealing with problems only after they arise, a measure that is quite ineffective.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning service of Miroku Association headquarters. Today I have a faith experience I would like to share with you from Catarina João Nambele. She's from the Chinguari Johrei Center in Angola, Africa. Catarina is a Johrei member and gives service as an assistant to the membership classes instructor. She was introduced to our church in Angola 5 years ago through a missionary. Faith experience that she's sharing with us is related to following up on families of those who visit the Johrei Center. Based on our church guidelines, which is to lead the salvation of humanity through the basic practice of our faith, she developed the feeling of putting this guidance into practice where she could experience the following. A neighbor had problems with repeated miscarriages, a situation that made her suffer a lot and that displeased her husband. Upon this neighbor becoming pregnant again, Catarina started to take care of her, giving assistance with intensive Johrei, sharing flowers, and cleaning, mentalizing her suffering. With this practice of faith, she's having a healthy pregnancy and are in the 9th month of pregnancy, waiting just a few more days to have the baby, something that did not happen before. Another neighbor made excessive use of alcoholic beverages and to sleep had to get drunk. With the channeling of Johrei, reading the teachings and mentalizing his suffering in the evening prayer, one day he went to her house saying, "Oh, thank God, with this prayer you have done, I can sleep well, and I no longer make excessive use of alcohol as before." One day on the way to work, Catarina came across a lady who was screaming, looking at her. Catarina was scared and also sorry, and later realized that this lady suffered from mental problems. At work, she thought about this lady's suffering. Back at home, to her surprise, she bumped into that lady again, but this time having her daughter with her. Katarina gained courage, went to talk to the lady's daughter, who said that her mother had this problem for 10 years, also suffered from insomnia, and to sleep she had to take drugs. They have walked in hospitals and other paths without solution. Asking permission to God and Meishu-sama, Katarina began to take care of this family through a group of members, applying our practices of faith, Johrei, flowers of light, and thorough cleanups in other people's homes. In a short time of religious assistance, this lady had a great improvement. Currently, she no longer uses sleeping pills, as the problem of insomnia is over, and she is already able to have a healthy conversation with her children. Moved by this miracle, they are attending the Johrei Center near their home. The youngest daughter, whose fiancé, after their engagement, went abroad for a long time without communication. After the cleanup in her house was done, she received a call from the fiancé with the following content: I'm depositing a significant amount of money in your account. Get ready and please make the necessary preparations for this to happen. Katarina was allowed to receive her husband's family, who had no contact with her when the children were only a few months old. Today, one is 5 years old and the other is 4 years old. At his request, the husband's request, they went to meet his father's family. These relatives, concerned with the formal education of her children, gave her money to enroll them, a situation that made her very happy. Grateful for the blessing received, she materialized a donation of gratitude. Katarina learned that our commitment for the happiness of others can change our fates too. Her commitment is to bring happiness to as many people as possible using the basic practices of our faith. She's very thankful to God, Meishu-sama, and her ancestors for allowing her to know the significant path of salvation. That's from Catalina from Angola. Another experience I'd like to share with you, it is from Portugal. It is from Emília Machado Leal Guimarães. She's from the Oporto Johrei Center. Emília began to have a lot of pain in her left hip and went to a health center where they diagnosed her with tendonitis and prescribed the appropriate medication. However, the pain did not decrease. On the contrary, it got increasingly worse. After a month, she consulted a doctor who specialized in orthopedics, who asked her to have an MRI and X-ray done. After verifying the results of these exams, she was informed that the head of her femur had died and that it had to be operated. She would from this date have to walk with crutches for support, because if she would fall, she could spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair. The doctor also told her that she would have to be operated as soon as possible. Afraid with this diagnosis, Emília sought the opinion of another specialist, a doctor who is very accredited in this field, who told her that she could only repeat the exams and have the MRI scan after 3 months. The doctor also prescribed calcium to be taken and immediately scheduled another appointment for 3 months later. Due to this situation, she spontaneously decided not to do any treatment and to trust in the teachings of God revealed to Meishu-sama and receive Johrei every day. For 3 months, she went to the church every day to receive Johrei, prayed and offered her daily monetary donation of gratitude for what she was going through and for her difficulty in walking. As she couldn't go by car, she used public transportation and dedicated daily in the church from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., channeling and receiving Johrei in addition to other dedications. The first day she had a lot of difficulty because she needed a cane to walk and it was difficult to get on the bus, but she didn't give up. When she was at home, she channeled self-Johrei while saying thank you thank you, many times, following the guidance Mechanism of Salvation by the late Reverend Tetsuo Watanabe. So after 3 months, she went back to the doctor, who was extremely surprised that she had no more pain. He told her to repeat the exams, and when comparing them, he told her that the head of the femur was there and that the necrosis, the death of cells in the hip area that she had, disappeared completely. And that at this moment she had only arthrosis on the hip. As such, the doctor discharged her from the orthopedic consultations and warned that if she had pain again, she would have to take painkillers, including prescription drugs. She never needed to take them. And from that point on, she completely stopped using the crutches and started to walk normally without pain until today. With this purification, she learned not to complain, surrendering all these sufferings into the hands of God and Meishu-sama, to face purifications with a smile and gratitude, and that the constant practice of Johrei is above all. She learned that Johrei purifies the spirit, allowing us to further give ourselves, body and soul, to the divine work, having confidence and not wavering. To express gratitude for this miracle, she made special monetary offerings, she committed to follow up on 2 families, and continued to come to the church every day to channel as many Johrei as possible. She always had pleasant words to share and is available to talk about the power of Johrei to others, especially those who are purified. Those were the 2 faith experiences I want to share with you, one from Angola, one from Portugal. I want to thank you very much for your time in listening to them, and I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion of our morning service. Thank you everyone for joining us and have a blessed day.